This is a reshoot. If you've been a subscriber for a little while, you saw the title of this video and you thought, that's an old video. Yeah. Hi, I'm Chris. I suck at YouTube. That was Ivany, by the way. If you watched that old video, I'd love for you to watch this one again. If not, welcome to me trying to get things right. This video has bothered me ever since I put it on YouTube like a month ago, 2 months ago. I cut it together at 4 o'clock in the morning. I was trying to get it rushed. Like, I didn't watch it after I cut it together. I uploaded it. I watched it like 3 weeks later. I hate it. Long story short, there was a lot of things that I just didn't like how it was cut together. By the way, how do you like the new setup? I've got to come up with something for this because I don't like where this is. I wanted a setup that I can just click on and I can just start recording videos. Bonus, I'm not even wearing pants. So comfort is key. So in this video, I want to compare an Alexa Mini and the GoPro Hero 6. So the reason I wanted to do a side-by-side comparison, GoPro has reached like this really high level now where it's being integrated pretty seamlessly into Hollywood features now. The GoPro shoots in 4K at 60 megabits a second. The Alexa actually shoots in 3.2K natively. Arri is much more concerned about having a beautiful organic image than they are about high resolution. I'm too poor to have an Alexa here with me to show you, but it's nice to have goals. Before we get into it, I just want to point out the Alexa body alone costs about $40,000 to $50,000. The cage, so you can attach stuff to it, cost about $2 grand. The memory cards and batteries are a couple of $100s each. And on top of that, the viewfinders, just so you can see what you're pointing the camera at, cost almost $8,000. Just to get an Alexa Mini and get it built up so you can use it, you're looking at close to $80,000 to $90,000. By contrast, a GoPro costs $400, gets you 4K footage, and it's already got everything you need to make it work on top of being waterproof. But I digress. All right, let's just get into it.
Here's our legit super safety, double safety setup here, because Chris happens to have some butterfingers sometimes, so.
Let's see if you guys can tell the difference. Let's take a look at the footage from camera A. All right, now here's that same sequence again from camera B. All right, camera A, camera B, camera A, camera B. Did you figure it out? Camera A was the GoPro, camera B was the Alexa Mini. If you got it right, give yourself a high five. To me, there's a night and day difference between the two cameras. The GoPro, I think, is doing a really good job. I think it's processing the information well, but it doesn't really look organic to me. It's got a very digital look to it, and I don't feel like the colors are quite as natural. I think the Alexa footage has a little bit more of an organic feel. I think the colors look more natural. You can just tell in the Alexa shots there's a lot more information in the shadows. The shadows with the GoPro just get a little bit flatter and they get a little bit muddier. Now, a really good way to test the dynamic range of a camera is to go out at noon. Go out like when the sun's right overhead and the sun's gonna be really harsh. There's gonna be really extreme brights and there's gonna be really dark shadows. It should get apparent pretty quick how well your camera's gonna handle those extremes. I think the GoPro's doing a really good job here. It's making a really pretty image, but it's struggling on the highlights. You can tell it's clipping off a lot of information, a lot of the information in the bright spots, the hot spots of his shirt. He's so cute. Stay on point.
Should I just jump or something? Jump.
I think for most people and for most situations, you're not gonna see a huge drastic difference between the two. But when you start pushing in and zooming in a little bit tighter on the footage, even at 400%, you can see the Alexa is still recording a lot more information. as frame rates get faster, your bit rates start getting spread pretty thin. There's only so much information a camera can record. The more frames you cram in, that bit rate's getting used up faster and faster. I don't know what this is. And so it starts spreading those across more frames. It starts becoming really apparent on straight lines at any sort of geometric shape. Like if you focus here on the mesh part of my hat or like the windows of that hotel in the background, you can tell there's a lot of aliasing. And that's just the GoPro struggling to figure out what to do with it. Tedious bit of information. But even knowing how to set up a camera, on all these shots with the GoPro, I'm using a Polar Pro ND filter to give me a little bit more control over my shutter speed. And the problem where the GoPro starts struggling with exposure is that it's looking at the entire image and trying to figure out how to best balance its capabilities, determine what is the best exposure for the entire image. I mean, you can see right here, poor Mozzarella is just blown out like a ghost. Now, I've been using GoPro since before you could be a hero. The low light capabilities have always been pretty bad. You get this tiny little pinhole of an iris. It's just not gonna let much light in. To compensate for that, it raises the ISO extremely high, making it really, really noisy like this, or in this case, really smudgy lens, noisy footage, which makes it almost unusable in my opinion. Now the Alexa footage here right out of the camera is looking pretty dark, but I can actually go through and post and boost up the exposure. You can tell that the camera is still capturing a lot of information in the shadows. And that's just the benefit of having a bigger sensor with bigger lenses and bigger apertures. As a filmmaker, man, I realize how much I'm saying that. I don't sound so cocky. But it is. Having a camera that you can shoot effectively in low light is huge, because a lot of what cinematography is playing with the light or lack of light, using it effectively in mood setting and storytelling. Once I start seeing an image getting noisy and muddy, that was sciencey. In the right lighting conditions, I feel like these two become really hard to distinguish between one another. The GoPro has almost an infinite depth of field. Now I am working on a video about frame rate, shutter speeds, and depth of field, which should be out in a few weeks. That being said, with GoPro's almost infinite depth of field, it's never gonna be quite as cinematic as the Alexa, because you've got the options of lenses, you can get a beautiful cinematic shallow depth of field. That's just not gonna be duplicable. That's just not gonna be duplicable. You can't do that on a GoPro. A side note, this is my wife Sarah. We're not just randomly following some woman in San Diego.
Good. I saw that come out and I was like, nah! Electronics.
The GoPro is always going to be a workhorse for YouTube, sports. ESPN's using this in live broadcast, X Games, but to get it looking more cinematic, you do need some ND filters. You know, you need to really kind of understand your settings, and it takes a little bit of time to go through and tweak. But the fact that a $400 camera is able to hold up really well side by side with an $80,000 Hollywood quality camera, it's awesome. Today's Tuesday. My Mavic Pro 2 comes in tomorrow. I might actually get 3 videos out this week. I don't want to jump the gun here, but gun me. Thank you for watching. By the way, boxing match between me and Potato Jet is on. It's going to be happening here in Texas before the end of the year, provided, you know, he and I are both pretty bad at planning things. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.